You've got no skills or money. This is how you scale to the 10K months within the next 1 year. This doesn't happen overnight, and this is not easy. But if you actually apply what's in this video, this will be a realistic goal for you to achieve within 12 months. So who am I and why should you even listen to me? My name's Jax Heaton. I'm 19 years old, living here in Bali, and I make over $10,000 a month with online high ticket sales. This video is broken up in a 5-step process. You cannot skip, you cannot miss any of these steps because they all have been made for a certain purpose. Now let's get into it. Step 1 is all about rewiring your mindset. Now, before you click off this video, it's not some wooey mindset video, but this is the foundation. This is what we need to tick off first. To actually rewire our mindset, we need to cut out all of the negative people in our life. So anyone that doesn't bring value or supports your goal, we need to get rid of them because they're like energy vampires that are constantly bringing your level, your frequency, your mindset down to their standard. We can't have any of that. To make sure our mindset is in the best possible position to succeed, we need to start implementing the healthy habits. We all know what they are, right? So it's the journaling, the meditation, the reading, the cold showers first thing in the morning. I know I fucking hate them. And I wake up 5 a.m. in the morning, laying in bed. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes for me to get up because I don't want to have a cold shower. But you do it anyway, and after that, you've done a hard task for the day, first thing. So you've just set up the day for momentum. And the last foundational part of this point is to wake up early. So get up at 5 a.m. Get ahead of your competition. Because if you start work at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., you've now got 3 to 4 hours of deep work that you can actually put into the business and the skills that I speak about in a moment. So this is getting the foundations right. Now, step 2 is while you're working your 9 to 5, consider what job you're actually doing, right? So we're gonna talk about the work you do outside of your job, outside of your 9 to 5. But if you have to work a 9 to 5, which you probably do, why not work something that's actually gonna give you a positive gain? So what I mean by that is if you get an in-person, like a face-to-face sales job, with a good base and some commissions, you're gonna learn sales, you're gonna get a high frequency of repetitions of speaking to people, of communicating to people. And not to mention having a commission structure in place will actually teach you hard work. Because yeah, you get a base, but you know you can make more money in that 9 to 5 if you just work harder. I personally never worked a sales job with a base, but having that commission structure in place is gonna motivate you more. But while you're in your 9 to 5 and you need that guaranteed income in, but having a base is actually gonna allow you to put some money away every single week, guaranteed, not depending on the sales cycle and having a bad week, having a good week in sales. More on that, another example would be to get like a waiter's job. So instead of working at McDonald's, right? Why not just do a quick course and then you can get a job to be a waiter? But if you're at a fancy restaurant, what type of people come in? Are they gonna be spending $50 on a meal or are they gonna be spending a couple $100s on a meal? And if you're polite, you learn human nature skills, you learn how to network and just be a genuine person, you can network with these high value and high net worth individuals. So this step is all about making sure your 9 to 5 is actually serving you. Because what do you think is going to benefit you more? Once again, working at McDonald's or having like a retail in-person sales job, getting some repetitions that way. Working as a landscaper like I used to, or working at a fancy restaurant and actually networking with high value individuals. Like I wish I knew this stuff when I started because I wouldn't have been a landscaper to get my first bit of money. Step 3 is all about building the cash cushion and investing in a mentor. So for some of you, this is the only step that you can skip if you've got some savings behind you. But assuming with the title of this video, we've got no skills and we've got no money, this step is going to be crucial to get the initial finances to invest into yourself and invest into the business model that we choose in the next step. So I would recommend saving up at least 6 months of expenses. So live below your means in that time to actually save up that money. And then I would also suggest having some additional income left over to invest with a mentor. So let's say that you spend 5 grand a month. We want 30 grand left over, and then let's say another 5 grand to invest in a mentor who's actually done what you want to do. Now, step 4, the step you've all been waiting for, is picking the right vehicle for you and the business model, of course. I would suggest spend a couple of weeks on picking the right business model, weigh up the pros, the cons, and journal with yourself and understand what your strengths are, what you actually want to be doing, right? So for me, I chose sales. The reason I chose sales is I wasn't amazing at speaking with people, but I wasn't bad. And I understood that in business, we need to have sales because it's such a crucial skill. Because if I can cold call someone that does the marketing and actually convert them to a paying client, my business is always going to make money. So that's why I started with sales, not to mention we can now do it online. And the reason we spend a couple of weeks deciding a business model rather than seeing something, boom, we're gonna choose it, go all in. Spend a couple of weeks purely because once we choose this business model, we're gonna select this for 12 months. This is a part of the process. I tried and failed at a few business models for about a 6-month period. And then I chose sales. And sales was the vehicle that got me to my first 10K month profit. Once we choose the business model, do your research, watch the YouTube videos, make sure you do research before you book the sales calls, and figure out what mentor you want to invest in. What one resonates with you, understand the learnings and the teaching that he shares with his community, and then book a call with them and invest into yourself. Because when you invest into yourself, this does a few things. Number one, you shortcut the time to actually get to your goal. Because you're learning from someone who's done it before, you get the full A to Z blueprint on what made them successful. So if they've made 10, 20, 30K a month with online sales, let me invest into their mentorship so I can learn how to do it as well because they've walked the path. The best teaching is learning from lessons, but those lessons don't have to be yours. The second reason for a paid mentorship is the community. When you network with other business owners, or let's say sales rep in my case, that are going through the program and actually learning, you can bounce ideas off each other, network, create a community where you can exchange value, and then those relationships you build, you nurture them over years, and you've always got a helping hand if you need them. Third reason is when you invest a large amount of money, let's say 5 grand plus, when you invest that into yourself, you now have to make it work, right? So instead of the business model being, oh, this would be nice to get to 10K a month, I've got my comfortable job. It would be nice to get to 10K a month, but I'm making 5K a month at my day job. Instead of that being the mindset that you go into starting this business, it's like, holy fuck, I've invested 5K into a mentor. I've invested a month's worth of my salary. Now I have to make this work. So your mindset flips from, this is a nice to have, to holy fuck, I bet on myself, I've invested the most I've ever invested. I have to make this work now. And that's what we want. Step 5 is about putting in the work and actually growing and making that money. Now that the foundation is set in stone, we have some capital behind us, we have chosen the business model, and we have the right person to learn from, and our mindsets at a very competent level, this is where we put in the work. So now you've got some cash behind you, we leave our day job. Or if you're a little bit scared of that, which I understand, it is a big step, you can go to part-time in your job so you've got more time throughout the week. However, I would suggest, once you've got the cash behind you, to leave your day job. Because worst case scenario, what happens? The business doesn't work and you go back to the job. And at least you know that you fucking tried. Best case scenario is you got more time to invest into yourself, invest into your business. Now you never have to go back to a day job. In this work instead, you need to be diligent with your time. You need to calendar time block. So put in your deep work in the morning, put in your training. Don't sacrifice your health for this. Because for me personally, when I've been below people from a financial standpoint, but I've been on my shit with my health, I've been in shape, I've had health knowledge to share, that's me providing value because I'm holding them to a higher standard in health or in training. It makes it easier to network when you're in shape. And everyone likes to network with good looking people. Let's be real. So once again, be diligent with your time and remember the 1,000 hour and the 10,000 hour rule. So what that means is if you spend 1,000 hours on a task, on a business model, let's use the sales as an example. If I spend 1,000 hours on sales calls, sales learning, etc., I should be pretty good. If I spend 10,000 hours on sales, I should be world class, right? This is just the laws of how the universe works. But to make sure we hit that 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 hours in that skill and in that business model, to put us in the top 5% of people in that space, to make the top 5% of money, we need to be diligent with our time. So if you get in your head and you're like, oh fuck, why am I not making the money I want to make? And then if you go back through your calendar and like, oh, I've only spent 50 hours on this skill so far. You're not supposed to be good. You're supposed to be shit for a while. Once you get to 1,000 hours, you're good. The only way we can track this is if we put it in our calendar, follow our calendar, and be diligent with our time. And no energy gambling. Now here are the things you need to avoid because it's going to destroy your path and your journey to actually get into those 10K months. Shiny object syndrome is the first one. Do you remember how I said, spend a few weeks on picking the right business model for you? All business models work, I will add. They all work, but spend a few weeks because when you choose that business model, we're not doing anything else for 12 months. Keeping the main thing, and the focus on that business model. Because you might get in month 3, month 4, and you realize this fucking business model's hard, like they all are, and you suck at it. And then you find out someone that you've met, like, hey bro, get into ecom. Let's say I'm in sales. Hey bro, get into ecom, it's more scalable. I've got time freedom. And then let's say you jump into ecom, you're gonna go through those initial shit months again, because all business models have a learning curve. Like you start, you're like, oh, so excited doing the numbers, gonna make so much money with this business. And then you get to a point, you're like, holy fuck, I realize how much work's required. And you go down, this is the hard work, start seeing some wins, we come back up on the chart, and then you're successful in the business model. Next thing to avoid is people's opinions. We don't want energy vampires, we don't need people around us putting their 2 cents in unless they've actually accomplished what you want accomplished. So if you've told your family members, your friends that you're pursuing a business model and like, hey bro, I don't think you should do that. Okay, well let me ask myself, should I listen to you? Do you make the money I want to make? No. What are you doing? You're working a 9 to 5 that I don't want to work. Why would I listen to you? But if you get an opinion from someone that would say, hey bro, with your business model, you should try X, Y, Z. Okay, should I listen to you? Okay, you are making the money I want to make. You're competent in this area. I am going to take that advice on. So be very careful with people's opinions and the advice that you take. So if you almost want to guarantee that within the 12 months you'll make the money you want, another thing I suggest doing is stop dating. Unless you have a female or a woman that is really supportive of you getting to your goals, I would stop dating. You can go on semen retention for a year, like I did, and transfer that energy into the work. And then on the other side, you can have your fun, have your dating, right? It's all worth it, trust me. And there should also be no nights out with the boys. The reason we don't do the nights out ruins the sleep schedule, ruins the productivity the next day. We have brain fog and we're spending money on shit we don't need to spend, right? And if your friends don't support your goals and they're not wanting to like catch up and do a gym session with you so it's mutually beneficial for everyone, or go to a cafe, catch up there and then do some deep work after, like a supportive friend would if you share your goals. And if they're like, hey bro, come out tonight, we're gonna go to the club. Nah, don't worry about the work thing, bro, come out tonight, they're not your friends. Cut them off immediately. We can't have them in our lives. The final thing we need to avoid is alcohol and drugs. We get brain fog. If we consume these substances, we destroy our discipline and our willpower. This is a non-negotiable, avoid this. And if you want later in your life, you can have these substances, but once you start seeing the results of having none of them and how much work you get done and what you do with your life and the person you become, you won't ever go back to them. Now, I didn't say this was gonna be easy to get to 10K a month. This is gonna be hard, and be prepared for that. Because when it's feeling hard, just remind yourself, this is what hard feels like. This is where people quit. This is why most people don't have the life that I wanna live, right? So when it's hard, just remember this is fucking hard and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Because who grows inside their comfort zone? But the promise I made to you is this will work if you put in the work. That's the only thing that matters. If you actually put in the work and follow these steps, you will be successful. So make sure you smash the subscribe button, hit like below, drop a comment. Any video ideas, let me know down in the comments description below. And I'll see you on the next video popping up on screen now.